often I find myself learning new songs. This one has actually been on my list for a long, long time, wanting to learn. It was written by a friend of mine from Chicago named Rich Precioso. And it really fits in with this morning in at least three different ways. It's a story of forgiveness. It's also a song that fits with Memorial Day. And it also fits with events of this past week when our president laid a wreath in Hiroshima. It's called 1,000 Candles, 1,000 Cranes. My grandmother had 3 sons. She dreamed about her children's children. Then came 1941. Only one son would see the war end. Joseph died marching in Bataan. Drank on the sands of Iwo Jima. When the bomb destroyed Japan, she thanked God and Harry Truman. She blamed the godless Japanese for having crushed her sweetest dream. 10,000 candles for my sons. Every day I will remember. In Illinois, far from her past, Miss Nakamura still remembers. Only 6 when she saw the blast that turned her world to smoke and embers. Mother taught her daughter well, run from the fire to the river. There she found a living hell, but not a mother or a father. Though she survived without a scrape, her family vanished into space. 1,000 sons, 1,000 cranes. Every day I will remember. My grandmother had 3 sons. She never dreamed she'd have a daughter. At the age of 81, she met a nurse named Nakamura. It was a question only meant to make some talk and pass the hours. About a picture by the bed, a photograph of 3 young soldiers. Hatred and anger stored for years, slowly melted into tears. 1,000 candles, 1,000 cranes. Every day I will remember. There's a picture in my mind of 2 women slowly walking. August 6th, 1985, walking to church to light a candle. might come and play such foolish games. 1,000 candles, 1,000 cranes. Every day I will remember. Every day we will remember. Thank you.
And you expect me to talk after that? Good morning. That's beautiful, Steve. Namaste. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Let's see. Actually, I'm supposed to take these off. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Well, God bless you, everyone. So good to see you, and thank you for being here. And I want to tell you how honored I am to have all of you here today, and also let you know that I have with me today very special people in my heart, my life, and our son Ian and his lovely wife Laura, and our beautiful first grandbaby Colby. Yeah! Can you see how blessed we are? What a beautiful light she is for us and to the world, I know. So, came across a cute story when I was preparing my lesson for today, and we've been working on this wonderful spiritual practice called Ho'oponopono. And it's a very healing practice, and I've experienced some beautiful things this week as a result of working with it and practicing it myself. And it's an ongoing practice. It's not something you do once or twice or say once or twice. It's just something that you do that actually helps to shift and change your consciousness and your energy. And as a result, it actually changes the consciousness and energy of the world. But I came across this story, and a couple was strolling along an oceanside beach and noticed a bottle floating in the water. And they waded out toward it, and they saw it contained a note. And so they eagerly opened up the bottle, and they read the note, and it said, "I'm marooned on a tropical island, and there's no pollution, no traffic, no noise, no politicians, no taxes. Eat your heart out." And I thought about that, and I realized that so many times what we see and experience in life, and this is really one of the primary ideas and principles of Ho'oponopono, it really does, a lot of it depend upon how we see it and how we look at it and what we're looking at it through. And of course, we're always looking at our experiences in our life, whether we recognize it or not, or whether we realize it or not. We're looking at everything in our world through the filters of our subconscious mind. We're looking at life experiences through all of our past programming, or we're looking at it through the eyes of the divine within us. And so in Ho'oponopono, one of the things that is taught is that we basically experience life, and we experience the world one of two ways. We experience life either through memory or through inspiration. And part of our unfolding and part of the spiritual practice of Ho'oponopono is letting go of those things that would block or stand in the way of our being able to see life through the energy, through the vision, through the consciousness of inspiration. I came across another beautiful story, and having my lovely grandbaby here, of course, kind of sparked this one a little bit. There was a grandpa who walked into the family room and found that his little grandson, Jeffrey, was standing up in the playpen crying. And he looked so pitiful, you know, and he's standing there in his little baseball T-shirt and his diapers, you know, and his face was all red with tears and stained, and so he's crying. And so he starts to reach in and pick up Jeffrey, and the mom comes in and says, "No, don't pick him up. He's in timeout. He's in timeout. You don't pick him up. And so the grandpa's kind of torn, he wants to honor his daughter, but at the same time, he just can't stand to see this little one in there crying. And so, like any good grandpa did, he crawled into the pen with the grandbaby. He says, if you're in here, so am I. Well, to me, that's just a wonderful idea of the Ho'opono principle. The reality is, whenever we see or experience a challenge or a difficulty in the world, part of our work is to crawl into the pen with it, believe it or not. When I say crawl into the pen with it, it's because everything that we see and are experiencing in our life and world is coming through an understanding and experience, a programming, you might say, that is in our life. And so part of our work is to be there with it and to shift whatever is going on inside of us that is bringing up that awareness or that experience. And so when I think about this, I think about Memorial Day, and Memorial Day is a powerful and a wonderful time to remember those who have died in service. And it has been specifically presented as those who have died in service to our country primarily it's been through the military, but I want to suggest to you that we really need to broaden our understanding and awareness of what this can and should be about. And Memorial Day is really more than something where we simply honor those who have fallen and in service, but it is an opportunity for us to do the practice of Ho'oponopono in life and in the world. And it's something that if we will really honor this understanding and look at this understanding of how we are all so deeply connected, it's so important for us not to just simply honor those who we think are, quote, on our side, but also honor those that we feel that we have been fighting against. Jesus said it very clearly, and yet we somehow like to skate over it. Love your enemy. Pray for those who despitefully use you. Do good to those who persecute you. For in such you will know that you are children of God. It's in those very kinds of acts that you will recognize and know that you are an aspect and a part of the presence of the divine. It's so easy to get caught up into an us or them consciousness, and part of the understanding of unity and part of what we teach is to recognize, to wake up to the knowing that there's no such thing as us and them. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that's been created by the ego consciousness. And it really is one of the most important awarenesses to wake up to. It's one of the most valuable gifts that we can give ourselves. It's one of the most valuable gifts that we can give to life and to the world. And so I want to quickly give you a kind of rundown of some of the basic principles of the Ho'oponopono practice. First of all, the number one principle in Ho'oponopono is we don't have a clue. So let me say that again. We don't have a clue. The part of our mind and brain and consciousness that thinks that it has a clue is the ego consciousness, and the reality is the ego consciousness doesn't have a clue. It is the conscious mind, you might say, and the conscious mind doesn't have a clue. And the reason the conscious mind doesn't have a clue is because there are millions and millions of bits of information, bits of input, bits of awareness that are happening all the time consistently, and we get maybe this much of it through our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is aware of just a minuscule amount of awareness of all the different bits of information that are going on in the universe, or even for that matter, in our subconscious mind. It's kind of like, when you see an iceberg, what you see is just a tiny little tip, and way down below the iceberg, there's this massive body. In Unity, we have an understanding that it really is only one mind, that we're all connected to that one mind. We're all connected in consciousness, whether we recognize it or not. And it's kind of like, when you, how many of you seen the Michael Jackson gloves with the fingers cut out of, you got a glove here and it's all one. But you see these fingers, we think we're the fingers. But the reality is we're all connected. We're all connected. Could I ask someone to get me some water, please? Thank you. And so it's important for us to recognize that we really don't have a clue. And so the second principle that is that we don't have control over everything. I know we won't, thank you. A big part of our, thank you very much, I am blessed. A big part of the difficulties and challenges that we experience in life is with this illusion that we somehow have control over what's going on out here in the world. We thought there's a part of us that really is striving for control. In fact, that's been one of the real challenges and struggles of humankind, it seems like, is to try and control nature, trying to control. And so much of our challenges that we're facing in our world today is this belief system that we can control what is. We really don't have control. What we have control over simply is choice. That's the only thing we ever have any control over. And the choice that we have is only of what we're going to direct our awareness toward. That's the only control we have. What direction are we going to put our energy? That's the second principle of Ho'oponopono. Where are we going to put our energy? And number three is that you can heal whatever comes in your way. You can heal whatever comes in your way. And the reality is that it wouldn't come in your way if it wasn't there for you to heal. Everything that comes into your life experiences is drawn through the energy of consciousness. Emmett Fox said it this way, Charles and Myrtle Filmer said it this way, life is consciousness. And what you see and experience out here in the world is attracted and drawn to you through the energy that's in your consciousness, whether your subconscious mind or your superconscious mind. Now, the superconscious mind is that part of us that is always connected to the divine. And there are times when we're in tune with that. There are times when we align ourselves with that, and all kinds of amazing insights and awareness and inspiration can come through when we're aligned in that way. But when we're out of alignment with that, and we're really aligned with all of the programming of our subconscious mind, the subconscious mind has all kinds of, I would call it litter and debris, if you think about it. Their life experiences and their thoughts and energies and belief systems that we have accepted and brought into our awareness in some form, in some way, through what Charles Fillmore called race consciousness. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious. We are all a part of that. We all connected with that, and that's the part of the iceberg that's underneath that we just don't have an awareness about it. And if it comes into our awareness, it's bubbling up from this collective unconscious, and it's doing so because there's something there for us to learn from. There's something there for us to shift. There's something there for us to let go of, or to enhance, or to bring into our experience a different understanding of it. Spirituality and spiritual growth, sometimes people say you just keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and the reality is, no, you don't keep climbing and climbing and climbing. What you do is you go round and round in a circle. It's a spiral. Have you ever noticed that you keep seeing these same kind of challenges and problems over and over again in your life? You do. You keep coming back to the same stuff over and over again. And the reason is because it's coming back up again for you to experience it in a different way, to come to this experience from a different consciousness, from a different awareness. You don't always come back to it with the same awareness and understanding you had before, but if you can come back to this from a place of clarity and awareness of alignment with our divine nature, with that superconscious essence of our being, if we can come from that spirit, from that awareness, that clarity of vision, we see and experience that in a way that releases whatever has been going on before. And the energy of that is transmuted, as we talk about in Ho'oponopono. It's changed. There's a change in energy. There's a change in consciousness, and those kinds of things don't continue to happen to us. Paul Jackson, the author of Ho'oponopono Secrets, calls Ho'oponopono a karma cruncher. I love that term, a karma cruncher. It really does clear up a lot of our stuff. And so number 4, the fourth principle, is so important, also one of the most oftentimes challenging for us to accept, is that you are 100% responsible for all your experiences. Let me say it again. I am 100% responsible for all of my experiences. If I experience some confusion, if I experience some difficulty or some challenge, there's something in my subconscious mind that has attracted that experience here for the purpose of me being able to gain something from it. There's a blessing in there somewhere. It's kind of like, the pony story. The pony, the young boy who has prayed for a pony. Prayed for a pony. I want a pony. And so one day, Christmas comes along, he finds out in the yard a pile of manure, and he starts jumping in, and he's digging, and he's going, and his father comes out and says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Man, with all this manure, there's got to be a pony here somewhere." Life's experiences are there for us to gain in some way, and we open our awareness to it by clearing out things that get in the way of that. We are each 100% responsible for our experiences. We are created in the image and after the likeness of that which is always creating. And so we are creating right now. You're creating your experiences right now. You're creating the experience that you'll have in the next second, 10 seconds, next minute, next hour, perhaps the next lifetime. And you're creating it from either an awareness of our divine nature and being, or we're creating it from past memories and beliefs and attitudes. Does that make sense? And so part of our shifting is being in this energy of continually clearing whatever gets in the way of our alignment with that one presence and that one power. Number 5, your ticket to creating the zero limits that Dr. Hew Len talks about. Zero limits basically is you're not limited by all of these patterns and belief systems. You're in a place of infinite divine creative power. You're in what he calls the void. In unity, we call it the silence, the stillness. And it's from that place of silence and stillness that all good pours forth. When we move ourselves back into that place where we're not run by the programs of life, not run by the data in our computers, our subconscious mind. And so part of this healing work is to shift those things that move us through life in ways that do not really reflect the essence of our true nature and being. And number 5, our ticket to zero limits is saying these phrases: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. It's not just saying the words, although Dr. Hew Len says even just the act of saying the words has the power of healing, has the power of cleaning, has the power of transformation. But there are also those who say it's very valuable to do that with a lot of feeling and energy behind it. Dr. Hew Len says just simply saying it is also valuable. And so even just saying it, whether you're feeling it or not, can help shift your energy and your consciousness. And it's a wonderful thing, because one of the things it does is it brings you back to a place of that peace. Dr. Hew Len calls it the peace of I. The I he's referring to is the I am, the essence. It helps move us back into an awareness of our connection with that I am consciousness within our own being. Had a wonderful experience this week. On Mondays, I like to take a little time for myself a lot of times to just, hang out and do different things. And so Monday evening, I decided I was going to go out for some dinner. And I was out having some dinner, and was at the Hop Daddy restaurants. Maybe you know Hop Daddy, and they had a wonderful ahi tuna burger that I like. And so I was sitting there, and I was actually sitting up at the bar area, and the guy behind the bar said, "Oh, I see you're going to the concert." And I said, "What concert?" Well, most of you know I like to wear Hawaiian shirts, and I had on my Hawaiian shirt and a Hawaiian kind of style hat or a tropical kind of hat. He said, "Oh, aren't you going to the Jimmy Buffett concert?" And I'd forgotten Jimmy Buffett was going to be in town, and I thought, oh, wow, that would really be nice. I hadn't thought about that. And I remember seeing Jimmy Buffett years ago in Florida and really enjoyed his concerts. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a fun thing to do. I hadn't really made any plans for the evening. It was just kind of going with the flow. And I was continually in that place, and I was saying the Ho'oponopono over and over again, saying, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you." Well, and Dr. Hugh Lin says it just says you should just be saying it regardless of whether you see a problem or not. You just keep saying it. You just keep affirming it. So that's what I was doing. It was a mantra. I was kind of chanting it myself, and this came up, and I thought, well, I think I'm going to see if I can get some tickets. And I looked online, I have a little, and I'm looking, and I saw all the tickets, and I saw the price, and then I saw what they added on to the price, and I'm going, okay, by the time everything was added on, it was really a little more than I was willing to invest at that point. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I just got other things I would rather do that with. And so I thought, no. But I thought, boy, sure would be fun to go to that, though. And so I thought, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down there, and maybe someone will be willing to sell me a ticket at the real price rather than all the stuff that's been added on for it. And I thought I could do that. I'd be willing to do that. So I went downtown, and I parked in a parking lot. And as I parked in the parking lot, I got out to go pay at they have the machines there in this parking lot where you pay. And there was a line from here to the way to the back of the door of people trying to pay for their parking. And I'm going, oh boy, it's almost time for the concert. I'm not sure I'm going to make this, but oh well, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I just keep saying it, okay, well, that's fine. I was pretty much open to whatever. And I get up to the machine, and I saw why it was so lined up, because it would blink out. It would work for 1 minute, and it wouldn't work. And I tried it 3 different times, and it would not work for me. And I said, okay, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And I just said, okay, I'm going to go somewhere else. That's obviously not going to do this tonight. And got my car, went around the corner, and someone pulled out of a parking spot. And I thought, well, okay, I'll pull right in. And I went to go pay on the meter, and I noticed, oh, it's free. It's after 6 o'clock. Free parking. All right, yeah, okay, that's great. So I'm walking. I thought, well, I'll walk down there. Maybe someone's got a ticket, perhaps, And I thought, okay, I'll walk down. As I'm walking along, I stopped at a stoplight, about ready to cross the street. And a group of about 6 people came up, and they were in their 30s, I say, and maybe late 20s, something like that. And they were just visiting and chatting, and they looked at me, and they saw me in my Hawaiian shirt and my Hawaiian hat, and they said, "Oh, you're going to the concert?" And I said, "Well, if I get a ticket, I am." And they said, "You just happen to be in luck. We've got an extra ticket." And they said, "Here." And I said, "Well, thank you. How much would you like for that?" And he says, No, this is yours. Come join us. In fact, you'll be sitting with us. And not only did they give me tickets to go see Jimmy Buffett, but they invited me to come and join their group, and they actually bought me refreshments there at this concert. And I'm going, wow, this is okay. I'm open. Yeah, thank you, God. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. The universe has all kinds of amazing, wonderful experiences and adventures lined up for us right now. And the only thing that's preventing us from experiencing those is anything that we have going in us that says, can't have that, not good enough, any of those kind of programming thoughts and belief systems. In fact, one of the main things that keeps us from having these amazing blessings is that we somehow believe that we don't have them already. There's something in our subconscious mind that's already bought into the belief system that says, can't have, not good enough, unwilling, can't. You know those? We've got them. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. So let me say just a little bit about doing Ho'oponopono with and for others. This is a wonderful part of the teaching also, and also one of the most difficult and one of the most challenging for us. One of the most important and valuable parts of Ho'oponopono is this. If we have an experience of someone coming into our life, in our experience in some form, in some way, who brings to us a problem they're having, guess what? Let me say it clearly this way. If someone comes into my life and experience and brings to me a problem that they're having, whether they say it or not, or whether I'm just simply conscious or aware of it, I am 100% responsible for that problem. I love the silence. If someone comes to me with a problem in their life and experience, I drew that into my energy, into my consciousness, from my subconscious mind. I drew that, and I am 100% responsible. And I'm 100% responsible for cleaning, for doing the Ho'oponopono practice for myself, for whatever's coming up in me about that experience or problem. It's my work to clear whatever comes up in me about that experience or problem. So I'm suggesting to you that each and every one of us has that also. When someone comes to us in our lives that either is a problem to us or brings a problem to us, that's probably a good way to say it. If someone is a problem for us or brings a problem to us, we are each 100% responsible for manifesting that in our experiences. That's a tough one for a lot of times to us to accept, because the reality is we really want everybody else to, we want to make sure that we want to blame everybody else for our problems, don't we? But the moment we do that, and I shared this some last week, the moment that we move into that energy and consciousness, see, let me restate this. The difference between blame and responsibility is really important. Blame means wrong, guilt, shame. Ho'oponopono has nothing to do with that. Accepting responsibility has nothing to do with that. Accepting responsibility really says, I own whatever is coming through my energy and consciousness about this. I accept that there's something, what is going on in me that's creating this experience? What's going on in me that needs to be healed and cleansed and cleared? What is it in me that I need to, and it's important not to try and analyze, because remember the number one, we don't have a clue. It's important to remember we don't have a clue. So don't try and fix it that way. Don't try and analyze and try and figure out what in me. Just simply do the Ho'oponopono. For whatever is going on in my energy and my consciousness about this experience for this person, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. For whatever's in my consciousness that may have created this experience in your life for you. Because reality, remember, is we're all connected. And what's happened is you brought this person in your life and experience because you have a shared memory. There's a shared consciousness that we have. You have a shared energy. And something within them and something within you brought this up for the purpose of transformation, the purpose of healing. Not only yourself, but healing planet Earth. That's a big piece of what we're here to do, isn't it? We're here to realign ourselves with the truth of our nature and truth of our being. And so when we do the Ho'oponopono, we are not only affecting those that are immediate around us, but we're affecting not only them, but we're affecting their connections and their relationships. And there is a ripple effect that happens when we are able to move back into this understanding and this energy, this life. And the number 6 principle that's talked about in the Zero Limits book also of Ho'oponopono is that our listening to inspiration is more important than even setting our intentions. There's nothing wrong with setting intentions, but the reality is it's important for us to simply be open to inspiration. Be open to whatever the universe is trying to provide to us and through us. It's valuable, I think, sometimes to set intentions, but the challenge that I think we have with setting intentions is we become attached to our intentions, and we think that the world is supposed to be lived out based upon our intentions. The only intention really that we ought to have is to realign ourselves with the truth of our nature and being, and if we are willing to do that and then just listen to the inspiration that Spirit has for us, there's a blessing that's being tried, that's just always trying to be poured out through us, through the energy of our consciousness. And so, certainly set intentions, but the important thing is to not get attached to our intentions. Be open to the universe providing a good that you don't have a clue about right now. So I want to go ahead and close our lesson for today with an idea and understanding. Well, let me share a little story. I always like to share another little story here. This story, I think, helps to give us some idea or some awareness about this energy and this consciousness. Story of a man he says, last week I took my children to a restaurant, and my 6-year-old asked if he could say the blessing at the meal. And so as we all bowed our head, he said, God is good, God is great. Thank you for the food, and I would even be more thankful if Mom gets us ice cream for dessert. And liberty and justice for all, amen. So along with the laughter from the other customers, he says, I heard a nearby remark of a woman that said, that's what's wrong with this country. Kids today don't even know how to pray. Asking God for ice cream. Why, never. And hearing this, the young boy starts crying. Did I do it wrong, Dad? Is God mad at me? And as the father says, as I held him and assured him that he did not do it wrong, it was terrific. It was a wonderful prayer. An elderly gentleman comes over and he says, I happen to know that God thought that was a great prayer. Really, the son said, cross my heart. Then in a very theatrical whisper, he says, in fact, too bad that she never asked God for ice cream. A little ice cream is really good for the soul. So the father says, naturally, I bought my kids ice cream at the end of the meal. And he said, my son stared at it for a while. And then, without saying a word, he did something I'll always remember. He picked up his bowl of ice cream and went over to the lady and said, here. He said, a little ice cream is good for the soul, and I already know my soul is good. So when we do our Ho'oponopono work, sometimes we don't know what's going to happen next. In fact, we often don't know what's going to happen next, but that's up to the divine. There's something that is higher that's always at work to bless us if we will open ourselves to it. But you may be inspired to take some sort of action. And whatever it is, do it. If you aren't sure about the action to take, use the same healing on your consciousness and on your confusion. And when you're clear, then you'll know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. You know that always is available to you. So I really invite you to encourage you to have more fun with this, to pray, to listen to that energy of spirit as it works through you in doing Ho'oponopono. Just let it be a mantra for you. And just say it over and over again. Even if you don't think there's anything to be sorry for, the truth is you don't know. But you'll be amazed as you begin to move back into an energy and a sense of peace about how things are flowing in your life. There is a greater good at work in our experience in our lives, and we're all a part of it. And when we align ourselves with that understanding, then it's amazing how we begin to see those opportunities and experience. And the universe provides even more that we haven't even really thought of before. I never even thought of going to see Jimmy Buffett that day, but the universe had a blessing for me. The universe got a blessing for you also. It may not be Jimmy Buffett, because you may not care anything about Jimmy Buffett, but it may be your favorite artist, or it just may be some other great blessing that is available to you. So have a good time with it this week, and let's begin and move into our meditation time. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath. And as we move into this time of silence and stillness, breathe into the heart space and just allow the energy of light, of love, of peace, of the presence of God to dwell in that space. And be open to the healing energy and vibration of love in the heart space. And as you bring into your awareness this place of peace and stillness and light, know that emanating in and through you is a creative power that is radiating out this energy, this light, this love. We align our hearts, our minds, our whole being with the presence of love. And as we move into this place, bring into your awareness someone that you feel this love for. Perhaps it's someone who's moved on. Perhaps it's someone who is in your daily life experience. Let your heart feel the gratitude and the energy of love. And let's do a Ho'oponopono with those that we love. And just say, I'm sorry if there's anything in my subconscious that may have hurt or harmed in some way, in any way, that I may or may not be aware of. Please forgive me. Or anything in my conscious or unconscious mind that might have created difficulty or challenge or conflict with or for you. Thank you for the blessings and the opportunity to come to this in a different way, to come back to the energies of love and light. And I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. Bring into your awareness now someone or anyone that you may have had a difficulty or challenge with in life, whether it be from your past or in your current life. And be willing to acknowledge the challenge, the difficulty, the conflict between you. And be open to the understanding of being 100% responsible for attracting and creating that experience. I'm sorry for whatever in my subconscious has created this challenge or difficulty between us. Please forgive me for whatever that might be. And thank you for an opportunity for healing, for transformation. Thank you for bringing this into my awareness and my consciousness for healing and for cleaning. And thank you for the gift uplifting both of our hearts and minds. Thank you. And thank you, Divine Spirit, for your transmuting love and energy and power, shifting whatever is in my subconscious that has created this experience. And I love you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. Take a nice deep breath now. Breathe into the heart space and let that energy of Ho'oponopono move through your heart, vibrate with the healing energy of Spirit. And take another nice deep breath and give thanks and know that it is so. It is done. And so it is.